It's the only souvenir you get.
Also this. The memory. This is a memory.
This is my favorite question anyone's ever asked on the show.
Ever?
We are kind of bags.
I'm worried about that. Give me your notes. I'll hand them back when we're done.
I'm Hank Green.
I'm Vic Michaelis.
And this is Ask Hank Anything. I'm Hank Green, and I think we can learn more about people from the questions they ask than the answers they give. And so this is Ask Hank Anything. And this is Vic Michaelis. Vic, can you ask me some questions?
Yeah.
Was that intense?
Huh?
Did I overwhelm you?
No, it was so good.
Okay.
I loved the eye contact with both the camera and then with me afterwards. How are you doing?
No, I guess that is a question. That's your first question.
Does that count as one of my 10 questions if I say hello and sort of ask how you're doing?
I'm gonna be very careful and count every single question like a genie does.
I was told in the email here that I had exactly 10 questions and then I was gonna be escorted off the premises.
Yeah, we have a couple of big guys.
Yeah. A couple of big guys in here that are sort of going, I'm getting some mean looks here.
Yeah, stop asking. Yeah, be careful.
And I wouldn't, and I'm not gonna ask a single question actually. What if you brought me on to ask questions and then I went, my question is how are you doing? And then I'm not gonna ask a single question for the rest of this.
I would be so mad.
Yeah, okay. So I
and
feel
uncomfortable.
And
too.
so I would never do that to you.
Well, I think you wouldn't try to make me mad, but I think you might try to make me uncomfortable.
Do you think?
I think that you kind of like it.
In what capacity? Why would you think that? What about me is doing that? Because that's actually not the first time I've heard that. So what about me is giving that off?
Vic hosts a show called Very Important People.
Thank you.
And the host of that show does seem to not mind if I'm a little off of kilter.
Sure, that's a character.
That's a character. But I've only ever met that character. This is the first time I've ever seen your
Hank,
face.
that's a lie.
In 3 dimensions.
We met 5 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
And we were having an actual conversation. And if that conversation was giving off that host character energy, then I am in trouble as a person.
No. I'm still working through adjusting into the real Vic.
Sure. Same with you.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I see you online by yourself talking in Montana.
Yeah.
And that's my view of you.
Yeah.
Do you think
was that a
that's...
question? You kind of Montana? No. Question mark? No, okay.
Period. You live in Montana. That was a fact.
That's correct.
So how does this work?
Yeah, I'm gonna hand you Puzzle the Pelican, and you're gonna pick a question out of Puzzle the Pelican's pouch.
I'm gonna ask a definitive statement that's gonna sound like a question, but I do need an answer to it. How did we come up with the name Puzzle?
It was my idea.
Great.
Someone sent me...
Family name?
Who decided on the pelican? It was Hannah. Hannah was like, I found this pelican bowl.
I love
was
that.
like, that pelican's name is Puzzle.
Huh, yeah, it is a bowl.
Like the one on the top.
So this is maybe my hottest take and a little bit controversial, and I'm kind of worried about now asking it in person because I feel like people...
You got a couple of those.
Do I? Do you think?
Yeah.
That are controversial? Okay.
We'll see how we feel.
I want to say off top,
yeah.
You can't ask me what I think about any of these because I'm not going to answer.
Okay,
this isn't a conversation.
That is kind of how the show works.
Nope, well, I will not be answering.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Oh no, are GMOs actually bad?
Can I ask you a question about the question?
Yes.
What's bad?
You get 10 questions about the questions. I don't want to answer a single word more.
What do you think of it? What's bad to you? Like
about GMOs?
Like in what way would you?
Well, no, I'm just asking if GMOs are bad because my hot take is I don't think GMOs are bad, and so I'm wondering. I mean, like I think that there's companies that are bad.
Well, yeah. Just like give me some bad things that you might think GMOs might be bad in.
Okay, I'm gonna butcher this.
Or someone might think.
Here's my fear. You're a very smart person.
Sure.
I went to 2 years of college.
That's like half of what I did.
Did you not go to school?
I went to 4.
Right. So that's half of what you did. Me going to 2 years of college is half of what you did.
Yeah.
So you did 4 years.
Yeah. And then grad school.
And then grad school. So more like 6 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Our GMO is actually bad. I don't think that they're bad. And so here's...
Well, let me say, are you talking about health? In health ways?
Yeah.
So in health ways, there's nothing that we have ever found that signals that GMOs are less healthy than non-GMO food.
Because
We've looked in a lot of different ways.
It's just like, because it's like a crop being able to grow in the desert, right? Theoretically.
There's a bunch
like
of different ways.
Resistance.
There's so many different ways that GMOs can be changed. Some are changed specifically to have higher nutritious value. So like make rice that has extra vitamins in it for people who might not get access to those vitamins.
Right.
You can also make it so that a crop is resistant to herbicides so you can spray tons of herbicide on it. And that's like, you can see
Worse.
Kind of worse. Really good at killing all of the plants around it. So maybe you can increase yields that way, and maybe there's a positive impact there, but you can use more herbicide on the plant, and thus maybe you end up with more herbicide if you don't wash that leaf when you eat it, or that herbicide ends up in the draining out and hurting the environment other places.
Gotcha.
So there's
that
lots
makes
of
sense.
different, there's also a way where GMOs are bad to some people, just ethically and morally. There's a feeling of purity here that is being harmed by us tinkering inside of nature.
Gotcha.
And I want to leave space for that. If people feel that way, that we shouldn't be messing with things like this, then that's okay for them to feel that way, and they don't want that to be in their food. I'm kind of people have lots of different ways that they see the world, and if that's a way that you feel, I kind of allow for it. It's not how I feel.
Yeah.
But I think that it's okay to allow for that feeling.
Yeah, no, I think that checks out. I think that feeling of the little bit of rub comes just from with how food insecure a lot of people are these days, and having something that can help potentially feed people, and then people sort of pushing back against that, which theoretically, I guess, in world. But then there's bad companies, and I know that this is not the name of the company, but Modesto is the only word that I can think of.
Monsanto.
I know they're bad.
Yeah.
That
Modesto is fine.
It's fine. It's okay, actually, if we're being honest. But
So we've got health, which I'm not concerned about.
Modesto, the county.
We've got the city of Modesto, which I'm also not super concerned about.
Right.
We've got
should be.
There's a morality argument, which I I don't feel that. I feel like we tinker with nature all the time, and we've done it in a million different ways for the, hundreds of thousands of years that we've been a species.
So they got such a bad rap via it sounding it's just like anything. I think
people feel weird about what they put in their bodies.
Yeah.
That seems like I should be able to control my body with what I put into my body, which to some extent obviously is true.
Yeah.
And to some extent is not. We can't cure all of our diseases by choosing what to eat. And then there's an element of this is actually, I have a feeling about this that is a little bit moral and ethical. I think it is weird that a company gets to own the contents of a plant.
Yeah.
That's I get why. I get that it's kind of necessary for this industry to exist at all. But I feel kind of weird about it that if I grow a plant, if I'm a farmer, I grow a plant and then I grab some of the corn that I just grew and then I plant it again, I broke the law.
Yeah.
That's weird. And it has economic impacts, and we should consider those impacts and be concerned about them.
That is bad.
Sure.
Is there anything where it's like insulin, where it's people have tinkered with the plant and are okay, this is for everybody, and then there's a company that comes in and is it's for everybody except now that we bought it, and so it's for us and it's for you if you pay for it.
I don't know of a case that is specifically like that. I think all of them were made by with pretty significant profit motives in the first place.
Sure.
And it's kind of a subscription service, basically. It's basically saying you can't replant your own seed. You always have to buy your seed from us. It's Corn Plus.
Yeah.
It is absolutely Corn Plus.
Yeah.
Future Hank here. I looked into this, and there actually have been quite a few GMOs created with the intent of significantly relaxing their intellectual property just so that it can provide more public benefit. Though it's not clear to me whether this counts as the public domain. Turns out this is very complicated, just terribly complicated. If you would like to be confused all of the time and pretty wealthy, you should go into patent law. There's a clover crop that was developed with public funds in Australia that was released for pretty much everybody to use. Mostly it seems because there wasn't really a way to make a lot of money off of it, so they figured might as well. But the big reasons this has been done are humanitarian. GMOs have the ability to solve huge problems, though it turns out the technology is often the easy part. Cassava is a starchy root that feeds over 500 million people in Africa, but it is naturally low in protein, vitamins, and minerals, and also it's vulnerable to viral disease. So, scientists working on the BioCassava Plus project engineered cassava to do all of the things. The project was funded by a mix of public and philanthropic sources, including the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The goal was to create a nutritionally enhanced, virus-resistant cassava that could thrive in African agricultural systems and directly address malnutrition and food insecurity. African scientists and institutions were deeply involved in the development and testing of BioCassava Plus. And researchers were able to increase the levels of beta-carotene, iron, and protein in cassava roots and incorporate resistance to a viral disease properties that cassava plants get. And early field trials showed that these traits held up in real-world conditions. And yes, to increase adoption and make it so that people weren't worried about seed sovereignty, the intellectual property rights for these modified genes and for the methods were either donated or made available under open access terms for humanitarian use. What that means is that farmers would not have to pay royalties or face restrictions on sharing or saving seed. And figuring out the legality of this was maybe the hardest part. There's a big international set of rules around patents, not just for the genes, but also the techniques and tools used to get the genes into the plants. But there is something harder than biotechnology and harder than patent law, and it's people. As of today, even though biocassava has been created and it works and it's free to access, it is not being used anywhere. And a major reason is the ongoing concern among both the public and policymakers about the health and environmental safety of GMOs, despite overwhelming scientific consensus that they are safe. These fears slow down regulatory approvals, discourage political support, and can even lead to bans or moratoriums, especially in countries with strong anti-GMO sentiment, which is more common in places with histories of external exploitation and colonization. Testing was finished for Biocassava Plus roughly in 2011, and today, no country on Earth has approved it for use. Despite being scientifically validated, non-commercial, and developed with local partnerships, it remains stuck in a kind of regulatory purgatory. So it is good to remember that, though understandable, fears of GMOs have real-world impacts. And while I am totally fine with people who don't want to eat them because of their beliefs about how nature and humans should interact with each other, I don't want those people's beliefs to impact people who don't hold those beliefs. And I do feel like that is the world that we are living in right now. This Future Hank segment is sponsored by Ground News. There can be a lot of stress around deciding what foods to put into our bodies. Seeking out information about healthy choices can sometimes be difficult because there are a lot of different opinions and narratives to sift through. And this is one place where Ground News can help. Ground News can make your fact-checking journey a little less overwhelming by gathering all the sources into one place and often presenting you with the best one, the one most closely tied with the original sourcing. For example, this story about the risks of eating French fries multiple times per week with 91 different sources. Now, this is being reported across the ideological spectrum, but there are different ways that it's being reported. Some headlines lead with French fries being the problem. Others point out that the method of preparation is the thing that creates the issue, not the potato itself. And then, oh look, Science Daily is covering it. I trust Science Daily. I use them, and they're a good source. What a great summary of the story they provide. So now I know, be aware of my fried potato intake, no matter how delicious. Give it a try at ground.news/complexly. If you sign up with this link, you will get 40% off the Vantage plan, which gives you unlimited access to every Ground News feature. Make sure you use the link in our description or the QR code to sign up so you can see the full picture and can think freely for yourself.
The other thing is, you have to weigh all of these things against the benefits. And there are a lot of benefits to GMOs. Like, you can have drought-tolerant plants, you can have increased yields in places where there's not enough food for people, and in places where we need more calories for humans. That's a big deal, and that's very good. And then in the US, oftentimes we increase yields and we don't really know what to do with it, so we either feed it to animals or turn it into fuel, which isn't great.
No.
We should be able to increase yields enough that we actually stop using some land for agriculture and maybe let it be something else. Let it be for just the earth to do what the earth will do with it.
Can I tell you what I think we should be doing with GMOs? We should make plants more beautiful.
You know?
We should make them sparklier. I genuinely think.
We do that with breeding all the time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Give plants a nice pink, a Barbie pink.
Oh,
do Barbie X.
You want my food to be cool looking.
Yes.
Okay.
Barbie X wheat.
The other day I went to an iris farm with my wife. We went to this big iris place.
For the flower?
In Oregon, yeah.
That's just a plant, it's a farm that you can just go to that just has irises just to look at?
Yeah.
Okay.
And smell. And I love the smell of irises.
What do they smell like?
So many different things.
Okay.
But there was one that smelled like brownies. And I was like, what did they do? How did they make it smell like fresh baked brownies? Maybe. I don't think so.
Or what? They're baking brownies and spraying them on the plants? That actually is not a bad idea.
All right.
You got the socks, you got the coffee.
Oh, you know about the things.
And then I think maybe I would like to do a brownie plant.
Brownie spray? Oh, I thought you were just going to spray things with brownies now.
That's not a bad idea either.
Okay.
Sort of Justin Bieber fragrance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I like it. Do we solve this one? I think we fixed it. Is that the point of this? Is that I ask you questions and then we fix them?
I do want generally, questions like that, my feeling often is, we should be a little less freaked out. Like there's just so much hard stuff in the earth.
Hank says GMOs are perfect and fuck anybody that has anything bad to say about it. I love that. I'm gonna start telling people that that's exactly what you told me, and I think I took the right lesson from this.
There's also a lot of different GMOs, and there's a lot of different bads, and there's also goods.
Yeah.
Things are hard.
Yeah, Hank loves GMOs is sort of the end of this. Hank loves GMOs, and GMOs are perfectly good, and the motorcycle agrees.
Do you have a second question? I mean a fourth, or however what we're on.
Second question. I haven't asked a single question up until this point. All of them have been declarative statements that you've chosen to interrupt me with. Okay, ready? Here we go. I think this is a good question.
Okay.
I wrote it, but I think it's great.
Okay.
Can someone have the most DNA?
This is my favorite question anyone's ever asked on the show.
Ever?
So far, I am obsessed with who has the most DNA. Because the answer to your question is somebody.
Really?
Somebody has the most DNA.
Educated guess. Based on famous people that you know, who do you think would have the most DNA?
I mean, in terms of like absolute volume of DNA.
Could you tell based off of looking at somebody being like, based on how?
Big. Like Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay, so it's a volume thing.
Yeah. So in terms of absolute amount of DNA, so not like number of genes,
right,
but amount of DNA, Shaquille O'Neal or similar. Just a big person. So I have more DNA, like absolute physical DNA, but you have more genes than me.
How is that possible?
Because I have a Y chromosome and I think you have two X's.
Oh, I see.
And
so
my Y chromosomes have fewer genes than X chromosomes, so you have more than me.
Whoa.
In terms of number of genes.
But DNA literally being like this would be like just
every cell,
the biggest
well, not every
person
cell.
on Earth would
Actually,
have.
the vast majority of your cells don't have DNA because they're red blood cells. 80% of your cells are red blood cells.
My blood doesn't have DNA?
It doesn't have DNA.
Right, no,
it gets
I know.
ejected. Yeah.
Right, I know. I know that.
Yeah, red blood cells are super small so that they can get into all the little cracks and crevices and deliver the oxygen. And so in order to be super small, they eject all their organelles after they develop. Yes.
Is blood just free flowing? It's in your veins, right?
It's in your veins and your arteries and capillaries.
But it's not just floating around. There's no blood in my muscles if there's not a vein there.
But there's always a capillary.
Am I a bag, Hank?
We are kind of bags.
I'm worried about that. I'm feeling worried about that, if I'm honest.
But I kept looking into this in a lot of different ways. So there are some people who have more chromosomes than you or I, like people with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
So they would have even more genes than we do. But then there are some people who have 2 times as many genomes as you and I do, because
Can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
I will. Because they are 2 people.
No.
So,
Hank, I'm gonna stop you.
there was a woman, and she had a child.
Okay.
And they had, as part of...
Pregnant 2 people.
No, well, yeah. At that point, you have twice as much DNA inside of you because you got a baby inside of you.
That makes
But
sense.
I'm not counting that. You got
No.
no, I'm not. But this actually would be the case even if this were the case. This would be the case for this woman because she's got both. She had an embryo inside of her at one point, but also had this other thing going on. So she had this baby. They had to do a paternity test for a reason. It's complicated, but they did it, and then they were like, this isn't your baby. And she was like, well, it came out of me, and they were like, no, it's your sister's baby. And because it's like pretty close to your genome, but not your genome. It's definitely your ex.
Didn't have a sister.
But she didn't have a sister. Well, she may have,
Ghost.
but it didn't matter if she did, because in fact, it was her baby. She had 2 genomes. In the embryo, twins merged together into one person. It's called chimerism. And so she has the genomes of 2 different people in different parts of her body.
Pause.
So the cells that...
Pump the brakes.
And it could be you because...
This woman...
Because you don't know...
Merged with her identical twin sister.
No, fraternal twin sister. If it was identical, then it'd be... And that might happen.
So
but
you're
you
telling me
would
that
never
this
know
person
it
is
had
not
happened.
even what this person looks like because they merged with their twin. 2 people.
2 people.
1 person.
1 person.
Baby.
And then there's
Born.
a baby inside, and so all of that at the same time.
Not her baby. Ghost baby.
Ghost
Here's what I love about this. And
Me too. This is why I got so excited when I started researching this.
This is fun too, because you could literally be making this up. And I want to believe so badly. I'm the type of person where like, I just want to believe it. So you literally could have made this up completely. This could have been a story. This could have been a fanfic you're working on. And I'd be like, I believe you and I love this. And I'm gonna start telling people this. And at what point, when we tell people things, does it just become true? Because it's enough people know it. I feel like this might be a problem with sort of fake news these days.
But this is actually true. I'm trying to say only true things here. So that's tricky. It's very hard to do.
This is hurting my head.
It's so cool.
This is really cool. So then how did they find this out? It just was like, was this the first person where they were just like, this is...
It was a problem. It was like she actually, I think, got accused of welfare fraud because of this. Because they were like, this isn't your kid.
Whoa.
Is
welfare taking your DNA?
Because there was a reason why she had to do this.
I see.
And I don't, it's complicated, but there was a reason why she had to do it. And then they were so it was a legal problem and they had to go to court and prove with a scientist that she had 2 sets of DNA.
Whoa. Okay, so move over Shaquille O'Neal. This woman has the most DNA.
She has the most genes. She has 2 different genomes.
That is insane. How does that affect your health? Obviously, is able to
It's fine. Literally, you might be like this because you wouldn't have opportunities to get tested.
There's just no way to know unless you...
You have to get a very specific set of tests.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
I love that. Actually, this is the best question you've been asked.
I know.
I feel really good about this.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That is insane.
I kept going deeper and being like, what?
But could it be you? Or is it...
I don't know, actually. I think it might be a thing that can only happen to XX people, but I might be wrong.
Is this a scientific thing where that's just their best educated guess? Or is there enough proof that they're like, that is what happened?
No, that's what happened.
Science is insane. I love this.
I know.
I love science.
Biology is just whatever worked.
Yeah. I also just, at what point is it we take our best educated guess, like with dinosaurs, where for years and years and years we were like, this is not a question, this is a definitive statement. For years and years and years we go they look like this. And then we find out that it's just they've wrapped wrapped what their skeletons look like in skin, essentially.
Yeah, and maybe they had trunks or whatever.
Right. So I'm like, at what point is it it's our best educated guess versus we scientifically, we have proof that this is what happened?
I mean, that is a huge question. And also, I will emphasize a question.
Okay. Okay. So I was just letting you know there was a period at the end of that sentence. If you infer it as a question, I'm more of the I did 2 years of English. I know you're more of a biology person, so.
Yeah, it's hard for me to tell sometimes. Okay. It's true.
This is my hottest take question.
Oh no, I know what it is.
And I'm sorry. Why are British people's teeth known for being like that?
I like how you said it, where it's not why are British people's teeth like that? It's why are they known for being like that?
Well, I feel definitively when you talk about Brits and what British people look like, they're like, oh yeah, their teeth are like that.
Yeah.
I'm not putting a value judgment on it.
No, they're just like that.
They're just like that. And I think, because here's the thing, is I'm asking that question, you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, I know what I'm talking about.
So it's not like they're not like that.
Why are they like that?
So these days, kids in the UK get about the same amount of orthodontics as kids in the US.
Sure.
But there was a period of time when
why are their teeth like that?
Well, they're not. The kids' teeth aren't like that.
I see.
But there was a period of time where that wasn't the case.
Right.
Where we had sort of the NHS, the government healthcare system.
National Health Service.
Yes. The NHS just kind of had different standards for when to intervene with orthodontics than the for-profit.
And so the NHS just decided never.
They decided more rarely. And the health consequences probably aren't that significant.
No.
And so
because again, not a value judgment. It's just they are like that and I want to know why. And this is answering my question.
Yeah. And then that has over time changed in part because the health consequences do exist. There are reasons to do it. There are impacts later in life.
What would that be? Teeth falling out, needing more
it's harder to clean. And so you can have that. And then you can also get headaches.
I would think that it would be easier to clean based on the spacing.
No, they're all usually crunched
together,
and overlapped.
Of course.
Yeah. And that's the more interesting thing that I discovered when researching this question. Is not why British people's teeth are like that, but why are all of our teeth like this?
That.
Because when you
That's a different question, I want to say, and you have added a second question.
And I want to answer
that doesn't count towards my questions.
I agree.
Okay.
It turns out, if you look in the fossil record, our ancestors did not have teeth like this. Other animals don't have teeth like this. It's very rare for an animal to have crooked teeth. we have crooked teeth. And people were like, what the heck is going on? And it turns out we have crooked teeth because our food is really soft now. And so when we evolved, like it's been like not that long, like 10,000 years we've had this problem because that's when agriculture started happening. And before that, we were constantly chewing on things to get any nutrition out of it. So we were malnourished, but we chewed a lot. So our jaws actually grew larger because of that stress. This sounds fake.
No,
but
this
real.
is the truest thing you've said. I can tell. I feel this in my bones that this is
and
true.
So that actually created more space in our jaws for our teeth to fit in. And now we have the teeth of people with bigger jaws than we have because our teeth is, our food is squishy.
See. Does it mean, have we evolved to have less teeth at this point?
No,
or is it
because this isn't genetic evolution. This is response to lifestyle. So this is a lifestyle change that results in jaws not growing as big because they don't experience as much stress as we're growing up and like giving kids raw seeds to chew on because we have nothing else to feed them.
And this also makes sense because I guess based on British diet, it's a lot of mush. It's a lot of piles. That's not a value judgment. It's just a fact.
But also, like, we
Stews,
are the
soups.
same way. And we also, just like our kids raised on grilled cheeses and mac and cheese.
Of course,
and
macaroni
other
and cheese is still my favorite food.
Ugh, so good.
It's a great food.
Yeah, Kraft dinner, Kraft mac and cheese.
And I am a person of British persuasion, so I can say that their teeth look like that and their food is mush.
What do you say persuasion? When you say persuasion, you just, what do you mean?
I persuaded myself that I'm British. No, I have an Uncle Nigel. It doesn't get more British than that.
That's true.
He works for the NHS.
It's true. Is he an orthodontist?
No, he's on the business side of the NHS, I think.
Okay.
I actually don't know, if I'm being totally honest. I'm saying this, and I know he works for the NHS, and I don't totally know what he does there.
What are you working on right now?
Nothing, literally nothing.
Can I ask you a question? This isn't one of mine.
Listen, I'm working on a lot of stuff all the time, but it gets plenty of attention, and I feel great about that. What I would love to point people towards is there's a lot of really horrible, terrible, very bad anti-trans bills happening across the country. Trans Lifeline is doing some really great work where honestly, you can go find local organizations in your community. Oftentimes, like, they are underreached, and just like talking to them, figuring out what they need if you can't help monetarily, or showing up in person, posting about them on social media, following them, all of that will help boost them in like whatever hell algorithm we all live in. And so go do that.
We'll put information on the screen.
Thank you, appreciate it. Right over your face?
Thank you.
Okay, so then you got some options, just in case you want to put graphics in there anywhere.
Yeah.
My teeth. Just a link as braces.
Are those natural?
No. I'm British.
Raised on mac and cheese.
Yeah, my mom is like my mom is like pretty British as far back as they go.
Okay.
Lots of orthodontia. Me and my brother have gone through, I think, more orthodontia than anyone I've ever met.
I got, and then my teeth floated again, and then they looked and they were like, we need to do something about this one.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay. And they said, and then after we push it forward, there's not gonna be enough gums to cover everything, so we're gonna have to do a gum transplant.
Gum transplant?
Yeah, and I was like, what if we just left it how it is? And they were like, well, it's crooked. And I was like, but is it a problem? And they were like, you're gonna have to work harder to clean it. And I was like, with like a toothbrush? And they're like, yeah, you have to do this sometimes.
Wait, I'm sorry. That is the solution, is just that working harder to clean it, which was the reason that the NHS was giving more orthodontia work, is literally just doing the brush vertical and spending a little bit more time with your toothbrush is the version of cleaning it?
In my situation, with that one tooth being the one problem, yes. And when I get a teeth cleaning, they're always in there being like, they're really going after that one.
Sure.
And so I'm not doing the whole job by myself, but.
No. I think your teeth look great. Can I be honest? I never really notice people's teeth.
I have only been staring at yours. That's the whole, like, it's very hard.
Can I also just say, I never noticed people's teeth, and then my entire question was, why do British people's teeth look like that? So I noticed some people's teeth, I guess.
I can't stop looking at teeth because it's weird that we have bones that stick out of our bodies.
Are these bones?
No, they're not. That they are, kind of.
Caught you in a lie. You said I never lie, I'm always honest. You say I've done 1,000% of the research.
It's like bones, though. It's like, I guess weird.
But is this like, what is this, calcium?
It's dentin, which is not.
Dentin.
Yeah, it's
what
like
is this?
Cartilage?
Cartilage. What is this? What are these? Do you have anything you want to promo?
You can subscribe to this channel, youtube.com/Complexly, and also get notifications because you have an episode coming out every month with weird guests.
And me.
None
and
weirder than
sometimes
this.
the guest. Thank you, Hank.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, actually. I'd rather be weird than
British.
You're gonna get banned from all. It's gonna be people are gonna Google you in England and it's gonna be closed.
Actually, I'm trying to get Irish citizenship, so that's how I'm gonna do it. It's be mean to the Brits.
I love that. Do you have Irish ancestry?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, what about what you did to us?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. We've healed things.
So you got that on there. That could be the flag, the new flag.
Wait, we're not doing unification.
That's a new UK flag.
Just for clarity, we're not doing unification.
We fixed it. Okay.
Do you have another question for me?
Yeah, why are you being so mean to me? Here we go. Ready? Okay.
Okay.
I feel great about this question.
Okay.
Are you ready? Why aren't we giving zeppelins another try?
We are.
If you say helium, I'm gonna be so mad.
No, helium. What?
We have a helium shortage?
We don't actually have a helium shortage.
Are you kidding me?
There may eventually be a helium shortage, and you want to know a weird reason why?
Yes.
Because we get most of our helium when we're extracting natural gas.
Is that true?
Yeah, so it's a byproduct of natural gas extraction, and then there's like a little extra money that can get made because when they're doing all that fracking to get the natural gas out, there's also helium trapped down there.
I see.
Helium does not exist in our atmosphere in a very high concentration because it floats to the top and then it gets pushed away by the solar wind into space. So that's a bummer.
Is that what happens to balloons when you let them go?
The helium inside of them, yes.
They get it.
But the balloon will.
We're feeding space, basically.
The balloon
with
pops and
balloons.
falls back down.
Right, which is trash. But the helium, we're sort of feeding.
We feed space.
I love that. That's actually very cool. Okay, I'm sorry, I got distracted because here's the thing. I used to work at Party City, and we constantly were out of helium because the hospitals needed the helium. And
Yeah,
they were like,
we're doing better on helium.
There's a helium shortage.
There was a helium shortage, but it was kind of pitched as like it's a finite resource and we're going to run out of helium.
That was exactly what I thought.
Which is true. It is a finite resource, and we would eventually run out of helium, but we currently are not in a situation where we're going to run out of helium.
So it actually is kind of good if we run out of helium because that means that we're not fracking and doing gas extraction.
If we're not removing as much natural gas, then we are going to maybe end up in a world where we're having a hard time finding all the helium to fill up the MRI machines, which is where a lot of the helium goes.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's good to know. Why aren't we doing zeppelins all the time?
I'd like to show you a picture.
Okay.
That
is an ass.
When we printed this picture out at the
look at that
at the little print store, they kind of glanced at it and closed the folder real quick. Like, oh no. So I don't know what they thought it was, but that is in fact the Airlander 10, which is a rigid airship, which is what zeppelins are. And
so we are doing it still.
And we're still trying to figure out zeppelins. So that has a cargo capacity of about 10 tons, which is about half of a 787, but it costs way less than a 787 to build one of these things.
Yeah,
but
it's a balloon.
So there are a few advantages.
Space is going to eat it eventually.
There's a few advantages of zeppelins over planes. They're quiet. They take up straight and up, like they just go up, so they don't need a runway. That's nice. And they're super efficient because the lifting is being done instead of by engines, it's being done just by the gas.
And you could load on via the Empire State Building.
Potentially, though that seems unsafe to me.
Yeah, it's not a great plan, but it is a plan. This is crazy.
Yeah, and so they've been working on the Airlander 10 for a long time. They want to build the Airlander 50, which has a 5 times greater cargo capacity.
So they're building this right now with the thought of being
this is out there.
Well, it's a photo that I'm looking at, so it's there.
Yeah, they fly this thing around.
Do they?
Yeah.
Where?
I don't know.
Okay.
Places.
I guess honestly, we could probably look up and then it's not going to be hard to find.
Yeah, people. Yeah. Wherever it is, people notice.
So what are they putting inside that? Is that helium?
It's mostly being used right now to test whether or not this thing works.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
It's a little. It does.
Okay.
There is some drawbacks. You can keep this. There's some drawbacks. You can put it on your wall and people will be like, "Oh, really?"
I love it, and it's branded.
It is
branded backwards. If I'm being honest,
it is upside down.
I will.
Put that down over there.
That right
it's
down
the
there.
only souvenir you get.
Great.
I might give you a Garfield.
Also this. The memory. This is a memory. It's a memory.
So there are a couple of drawbacks to zeppelins. Can you guess any?
Wind.
Yes, this is a huge one.
Sure.
So they have very big surface areas, which is in part with the Airlander, they're actually using that. They build this thing in the shape of a wing, basically. So it is its own wing. And so as it moves forward, it actually provides some lift in the way that plane wings provide lift, in addition to the lift being provided by the gas.
Counter.
Yeah.
Use the wind as sort of a marketing scheme. You know how they have those things where they're like, you're not gonna know where you're going. I'm gonna give you a little folder and you're gonna be surprised.
You never know.
You just go, we're gonna pop you on the
And
balloon.
maybe you get sucked into a thunderstorm and maybe you don't.
And maybe you don't. Also, a tether, a string.
Yeah.
Have a child on the ground holding
hold it.
Hold it.
Just hold it.
But couldn't you like tie it to something theoretically?
You can, but once it's up in the air and if it
Tie it to a plane
you
and have
have
the plane
you have to be
drag it.
you have to be very careful that you don't get into a situation where it's going to get tossed around a bunch.
Right.
And you don't really need that as much with a plane because you could just fly it away. Another problem is related that they are slow. So they're not going much above like 60 miles per hour.
You get a fast storm front coming in, all of a sudden
It's
you're in
hard
a little bit
hard
of
to run
trouble.
away. Yeah.
Okay.
And then they are also huge. They're just very big, and so they take up a lot of space. And per unit of cargo that they can carry, they're much, much bigger than airplanes.
Right. So I guess the answer to this question is we are giving them another try and it's going poorly.
It's going okay. I feel like it's going better now than it was for a long time. And there's always this like hope that we could do this because then there could be air travel that would be much less environmentally impactful. Like your carbon emissions per passenger on an airship are going to be a fraction of what they are on a plane.
Well, it also feels like the type of thing like with trains having a real moment comeback. Trains are having a real comeback.
At least in our brains.
I love trains.
They
Give
got
me
a
a
lot
light
of
rail
good
train.
PR right now.
I'm dying
I came
for
up
a
from
light
San
rail
Diego
train.
on the train.
Is that true?
It was on the Surfliner.
It's beautiful.
It was dark.
Dark.
It was midnight, but
Go in the light next time, and I think you're gonna have a really great time. It's beautiful in the light.
But it was great otherwise.
And quiet in the dark, I would imagine.
Yeah, except for the guy next to me who was watching baseball.
No headphones?
No headphones.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm making a statement. Wanted you to notice him. And you did. And we're having a conversation about him right now.
He was
so mission
not
accomplished.
happy about one of the things that one of the players did.
And we'll never know. Tweet into Hank if that was you. I would love to know what was going on there.
How much do you think the Airlander 10 costs? If you want to make one. $800?
I'm gonna say I'm so bad at this. I recently went down a rabbit hole of.
I also would not have guessed.
So here's my reference for this.
Yeah.
I looked up a bunch of the BC ferries because I take the BC ferries more than you would guess, and I was like, I think that for 3 of them it was going to cost like. It was almost like $1 billion.
Oh, wow.
It was an insane amount of money. I actually don't know if that's true. I can't remember what the
It was a
number
lot,
was.
though.
Way bigger than I thought it was.
You were like maybe like 3 cars.
I was like $30 million was like my guess, and it was a lot more than that.
Oh,
It was like
interesting.
100 million, I think.
Yeah.
I said $1 billion, 100 million.
That's
it
a
was
lot.
maybe more than that. I can't remember. So, okay, my guess for this is going to be $100 million.
50 million. So that's
50 million.
Great. That was right on the order.
A steal.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Half the
Compared
price
to
you
what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a
Bogo.
lot, but it's like a fifth of what a 787 costs.
Okay, so that's actually like we're getting a steal on this.
Yeah, potentially.
It's just going to be really slow.
Really slow.
But I'm like, I don't know.
I kind of want to be relaxed.
And
you know?
what can
Maybe
you pop on there? Have pets travel via airliner. It's like that's okay to be a little bit slower.
I want a situation where I can like walk around and go to the like dining car, you know, like you can in a train, but like there's like a central like little place where they'll make you a cocktail and give you a sausage.
Themed. All Disney cruises should be on zeppelins, I think.
Yeah.
There should be
Air
cruises. Air cruises.
I feel like I would throw up.
No, you're gonna get that sausage and it's gonna stay in your stomach and you're gonna feel so good about it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that answers my question. Thank you, Hank.
I love that we're still working on zeppelins. I think we'll get there someday.
I think so too. I think if we are still excited, I like that I felt excited about it, you researched it, and I'm excited that there are other people that feel excited about this.
Yeah.
I love that since you've done research, you know what questions are coming next, and because I wrote these in the middle of the night, I don't know what's coming next. Oh, I do know this one, and this one I actually feel really good about.
Okay.
Okay, say there's an afterlife.
Oh, yeah.
Definitive statement. If you exclude family, friends, loved ones, who would you hope is meeting you to take you to the next place?
So I thought about this for a while.
Yeah.
And I remembered this guy I met on a plane once. We were like in the middle of like one of the 5-seaters, like an international flight. And so we were like really squashed in together. I don't remember.
Okay.
And I think England.
Sure.
And he was British. And he was telling me about his life. He was a chemist, and I also was once a chemist. And so we were talking about chemistry, and we were talking about dyes. He was a dye chemist, and he spent his entire life researching how to make things different colors. And I found that it was all
Whoa.
fascinating. And we had great chemistry conversations. And then at the end of the conversation, I found out that he was one of the youngest prisoners of war ever taken in the Korean War. His ship got sank and he floated there until Korea picked him up and put him in a war camp, and that he was a very highly decorated Korean War veteran. And he was 16 when he was in the water. And I love strangers. I think strangers are so cool. I love to talk to a stranger, and I kind of just wanted to be a stranger. I kind of just want just a cool person, like maybe that guy.
Well, he's not a stranger. I love that you told this whole story about this person and then said, a stranger, somebody actually completely different, somebody I don't know, something like that, but not that person, a stranger.
It could be that guy. It could be that guy or somebody like that guy.
Well, I genuinely think it's one of those things where if you roll the dice and somebody was volunteering for that job to come and meet somebody, you're probably gonna have a nice time with that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If there's so many other jobs, I'm assuming, that you could be doing.
In the afterlife?
Yeah, you're gonna be working. You do have to have a job, but that job I feel like is gonna be kind of a nice, pleasant job.
People who like strangers.
Yes.
Yeah.
People who like strangers and people that I feel wanna bring comfort, like helpers in that situation.
Yeah.
Man, I love that. That's a great answer.
What about you?
Ronald Reagan.
Ronnie. Good old Ronnie.
I want to punch him in the throat. I feel like that would be a lovely transition into the afterlife. Something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, they really sort of deliver that for you. They're like, we know what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, we brought him up.
That's how I know that I'm in heaven.
Yeah.
Is that because I've asked
Ronald Reagan is also there?
Yeah, he's there so that way I can punch him. I'll punch him back down to hell. Drop kick his ass to hell. I love that. I think that that's so fun. So you would have a beautiful moment with a stranger and a touching moment, and I...
Yeah, and you're like, what can I do to that windpipe?
I would get to play John Wick. I love that. And I think that shows that we're different people, but in a way that is really beautiful and allowed for this conversation. Thank you, Ireland. Okay, here we go. Ready? Okay, this is one that's really important to me. And is really close to my heart. Don't look at your notes. I want your just honest thought on this, and I want your honest take on this, okay? Give me your notes. I'll hand them back when we're done.
We just cut out of this show a ridiculous amount of theater drama conversation.
Oh, it was gorgeous, beautiful. Okay, but I didn't you never answered this. What's your reaction to the scandal?
It's very fun.
That's the correct answer.
That's what I've heard.
That's good.
Is the right answer.
That's fine. You can, and so now next time somebody asks you, you go, listen, it was crazy, but it's very fun, and that's gonna be the correct answer.
I defer to experts.
Thank you for saying that. Well, Nora Bell Bundy, is just, such a sensational talent, but then also too, because Elle is such a difficult part, I think it just it hurt her voice. I don't know this definitively, but it sounds like it hurt her voice and was stopped. But she is a wonderful actor, and I hope to see her doing more film and television stuff at the very least. Do you agree?
I do. Deferring to experts.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. And I feel like this just happened and it got cut out. Can you tell me a secret?
I can, but I have to write it down with my notes.
You have to write down your secret? For me to read.
Yeah, because otherwise all these people are gonna know my secret. Now I'm gonna tell you a real secret. This is one of the biggest secrets of my life.
Is that true?
Yeah, and it's gonna take me a second probably to write down. Okay. So you guys can talk amongst yourself.
I love this. Oh man, I love secrets. I think secrets are fun, and it's an easy way to connect with people too. It's just there's just something very, very fun about it. And also too, I genuinely believe that as people, getting to bear witness to other people's lives is one of the greatest things that you can do. It creates a lot of purpose. It's why being there in times of grief is really important. But I think secrets sort of operate in a similar way as well. Can be obviously if you're unloading on somebody that isn't prepared or doesn't want to take that on. That's a different thing. But that is how I personally feel about secrets. Raise your hand if you got a secret in the room here. Okay, yeah, look at that. Raise your hand if you like secrets. Put your hands down. Put them back up. Raise the roof. I love this. I think in another life, I could be an amazing youth leader for something, and I don't know what it is. Tough time with teenagers. I think that's maybe my fatal flaw. Okay, ready? Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's a real secret. Made me sweat.
have so many follow-up questions that I
know,
can't
you
even
can't
ask.
any of them. Because you've already done your 10.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for sharing that with me. I appreciate it.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. That is, yeah, that's wild. And yeah. And I can't ask literally a single follow-up question to it because anything would...
there's no,
I also think the way that I operate with secrets is I feel like when I am telling people secrets, I always caveat it with like, I would prefer if you didn't share this with anybody, but I can't control what you do once I've given this information to you. And so like all secrets, to a certain extent, I'm sort of like, I'm putting out into the world.
A little bit, yeah.
But also I think when you do that with people, they're more likely to keep the secret. You know what I mean?
But you also asked for a secret.
I did.
So that's a different situation than when you tell someone a secret.
I'm not going to tell anybody because that's yours. And I don't feel like it's the type of thing that like would put you in danger. Like you're not, it's like, you know, therapist doctor roles where it's like, you're not actively in any kind of a dangerous situation that I would have to relay that information to somebody.
Sure, yeah, I didn't tell you about a murder I did.
Yeah, well, depends on who.
We don't actually know. It could be.
It was Ronald Reagan. So it's just good information for me to have. You killed him at the ripe old age of like 90.
Yeah, it was really easy.
Blew on him a little too hard. Fell over. And that's the real story. I love that. Thank you for sharing that with me, Hank.
Yeah.
That's what I said. For your show, I said, I'm going to ask a question that's going to be all in writing that you can't say anything towards. Didn't I say that from the top? Is I'm going to ask questions where there's no dialogue and nothing is being said.
But you do a nice little show while I write it.
Yeah, well, I got to, practice my one-man show. See what works.
It's very good.
Didn't play well in the room, so I think I'm going to scrap it, but...
Everybody, this show is called Ask Hank Anything. If you have questions for me, that will help me know about you. And then you can leave those in the comments and upvote the ones that you think are the best questions. I'll answer a few of them.
And if you have questions for me, I'm done answering questions for the day, I think. So I will pass is going to be my answer to that.
There's a subscribe button somewhere. We do these every month, so you really do have to subscribe and get notifications. Otherwise, you're going to forget about it. And also, that just makes us feel better when you click on those buttons. Every time you do it, I feel like, oh, that was nice.
It's like when you clap and what is it? When you hear a bell, an angel gets its wings.
Yeah,
and then when
clap,
you subscribe,
Tinkerbell doesn't die.
Tinkerbell doesn't die. And when you subscribe, Hank just sort of feels.
When you subscribe, a British person gets a new tooth.
Gets a new tooth. Oh no, I don't think they need that. That's why their teeth are like that. You got too many subscribers, Hank. Every British person has like 3,000 teeth.
They're really small, though.
Really small.
They come in where you can't see.
Small and many. We're getting rows of teeth.
It's just like a bunch of extras.
Like a shark or a Venus flytrap.
Yeah, do you know sharks' scales are actually teeth? They're the same structure as teeth.
Hank, I can't deal with this
so
right now.
Maybe every time you subscribe, a shark gets a new tooth.
No.
Because they have so many teeth. They need all of them.
Do they?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they come in rows. They're always losing them.
That wasn't a question. That was a declarative statement. This was so fun. Thank you for having me. Seriously. What a blast. Oh, man.
Thank you to everybody who helped make this episode. If you've been watching or listening and you have some questions, you can leave them in the comments. If you see questions that you like, you can upvote those. I'll answer a few of them in the next few days. Also, if you want to see more of what we're up to, you can join the Complexly newsletter by visiting complexly.com.